Hello everybody, it's your boy Skipx here with another video for you guys here today, and as you can see in the title, I'm going to be giving you my first impressions of the Granblue Fantasy beta. So number one, the visuals. Obviously, this game looks absolutely amazing as everything Arc System Works does, and somehow in my personal opinion, they have even topped what they have done in Dragon Ball FighterZ, which I personally feel at the time was the best looking fighting game I've ever seen, and Granblue has somehow surpassed that once again, with the addition of these great character designs from Akihiko Yoshida. If you don't know who that guy is, that is the person who did the designs for characters in Final Fantasy Tactics. So if you feel like these characters have a similar feeling to those, that is why. But as you can see, all of these characters look very cool. They all look so unique, but the great thing about them is that they look so different, but they all feel like they inhabit the same world, which is something I've always been a fan of when it comes to Yoshida's work. But not to harp on that too long, let's jump into the main aspect of this, the gameplay. This is an anime game that basically isn't an anime fighting game. It's not really fast paced, it's definitely a slower paced game in comparison to games like Guilty Gear, Revelator, and especially Dragon Ball Z FighterZ, for example. If I had to compare it to anything as of recently, it's the closest to Street Fighter V personally. This game, in my opinion, is going to boil down to getting hard knockdowns and really reading your enemy on their wake up and what they're going to do upon getting back up, and being able to block the mix up or continue your mix up as they continually get up and reset, or as you continually try to mix them up. It's going to be one of those type of games in my personal opinion. Obviously, next on top of that, like the throwing in the game is like really shallow in my opinion, and something about the throws in this game feels kind of off. I'm not able to articulate it very well, but something about the throwing mechanics in this game are very weird. But moving on from that point, let's talk about the two characters I played, which was Gran and Lancelot. Gran is very simple to talk about. He's basically Ryu from Street Fighter. He has a Shoryuken, he has a Doken. He basically plays like Ryu. He is the character that is going to teach you the basic fundamentals of the game and then will allow you to branch off and play other characters. And then we get to Lancelot, in my opinion, who is a absolute rust down and mix up monster. He's fast and he's going to be crazy to do stuff with. Once we get the actual game and are able to get into training mode with him, there's going to be some crazy setups for that character. And just talking about this, we have our usual button layout, which is light attack for square, medium attack for triangle, and circle attack for heavy, and then you have the X being the gimmick button for every single character. Gran's gimmick, I never really understood what it was because every time when I tried to use it, I got punished. And when it came to Lancelot's gimmick, it was all about his movement and jump canceling and how he could use that to mix you up. Like for example, if you pressed X and down, he would do a sliding drop kick, which would then lead you into a combo and things like that, and so on and so forth. So every character is going to have unique actions attached to that X button, and that's going to be a really big thing in how all of these characters play, obviously. And then getting into special inputs when it comes to doing fireballs, shoryukens, and other such things, they have it so you have the best of both worlds. The game has a setup where you can basically input R1 plus a direction and you'll do one of your 4 special moves, which usually is like a fireball and 3 other attacks varying on which character that you are using. But the cool thing about this and the whole cooldown system is if you actually manually input these commands, because you can use the simple way and just do R1 in a direction, but let's say if you do the regular fireball motion in the case of Gran, you'll still have that fireball up there for available use. So let's say you're in the middle of a combo just doing a regular auto combo, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 whatever, you're then able to tap R1 in neutral and still use that fireball once again because you input it manually earlier, so therefore it's not on cooldown and you're able to spam it once again in the middle of a combo. So that's a great bit of strategy right there. I feel like that's going to be a really big thing in this game. People are going to save using the simplified inputs in order to minimize their mistakes when doing these really long and really highly damaging combos. And another cool aspect are the skybound arts, which are basically your ultimate attacks, which fills up with a meter that fills up throughout your matches. It usually is 100% by the time you get to that last 30% of your health. And with these special moves, if you end up using these on somebody and it kills them, it will then go into a special win animation while using that skybound arc, and it will change depending on whether you're in the air or on the ground, which is a really cool thing to see. Unfortunately, in this beta, there was nothing about summons, so I'm going to predict that summons are maybe going to be a story aspect of the game, and that's not going to be something in regular normal play. So getting into the last part of this beta, because there was pretty much nothing else, is the online. Just to sum it up very quickly, the closer somebody is to you within your proximity, the better your match is going to be. On average, I got about a 4 to 5 frame delay on a wireless and a non-wireless connection, because I did test it out with my base PS4, as opposed to one person who I believe was probably on the West Coast in the East Coast servers for some reason. I got a match that was about 19 frames, and at that point, when you get to 19 frames, that's basically unplayable. It's just a guessing game of who can mash the right buttons in order for your character to hit their character at the right time, because it's so delayed, it's literally unplayable. Obviously, going through this beta, there were a couple of frame drops during matches, but nothing too big. So I would say that one match, which was an outlier with that 19 frame delay, was definitely an outlier, and I do see the online for this game being very good. But there were some aspects of the online lobby that got on my nerves, which the biggest one was the bugged arcade cabinets. So as you can see on the screen right now, I'm showing off the online lobby. At some points during the beta, certain arcade cabinets in certain lobbies would just be bugged and literally would not let people start matches. You would be ready, your opponent would be ready, it would say connecting for a full minute and then reset you, and nothing would happen. So I really don't know what that was about, to the point where in some lobbies you literally saw people avoiding certain cabinets because they were bugged. So that is something that they're going to have to fix, because at this point Arc Systems has been doing this lobby stuff for too long for this stuff to be happening anymore. And last but not least, talking about this game's release, developers did say they want to release a PC version, as does Arc Systems does with every game they have released for like the last 7 years. I just hope that the PC release is very close to the initial release, because I won't be buying this on PS4, because you do need PSN to play online, obviously. So to wrap all of this up, I just want to say I am very excited for Granblue Fantasy. If you are looking to get into 2D fighters specifically, I say look into this game. This is a game very suited to beginners. It has a very slow pace in comparison to a lot of other fighting games that will allow you to adjust and really figure out what you're doing and what you want to be doing while playing a fighting game, instead of just mashing the buttons and hurting your thumbs. So with all of that being said, it has been your boy Skipx. I will see you all in the next one. Let me know if any of you got in on the Granblue Fantasy Versus beta, and give me your opinions on it. So all of that being said, I am out.